Each year is a little bit different. It's whatever we will make it to be in the end. It depends on the people who will attend and what they would bring in with them.
If you went along to a session and you didn't think you had anything to contribute and you ended up saying something, whether it was helpful or whether it wasn't helpful, well, it was, because you were part of the conversation. So whatever you said was helpful.
Hey folks, welcome back to Elm Town. I'm your host, Jared M. Smith. We'll be visiting with some of the organizers from Elm Camp, Katja Mordaunt and Tomáš Látal. But first, let's talk about our sponsor, Logistically. At Logistically, we make intuitive software to help logistics teams make better decisions and improve efficiency. We build the front end for all new features in Elm. If you're interested in our mission and enjoy writing Elm, please drop us a line, elmtown@logisticallyinc.com. I'll put a link in the show notes. Now, Katja doesn't really need any introduction. She's been on the show a couple of times before. If you've listened to Elm Town 59, Elm Camp with Katja Mordaunt, or Elm Town 78, Elm Camp 2024 with Katja Mordaunt and Wolfgang Schuster, you would get to know her a little bit better. But first, you can say hi, Katja.
Hello. Thanks for having us along.
Yeah, thanks for coming. And then a new voice on the podcast, Tomáš Látal. Would you mind to introduce yourself a little bit?
How much time do we have? No, hi everyone. My name is Tom, or Tomáš Látal. You can call me Tom, or I go with Tom quite a lot. And I'm based in Czech Republic, and I love Elm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit
Gosh.
more we could hear. Like,
No worries.
What kind of? How do
I
you
can
use
ask you.
Elm? Do you? Yeah.
Oh,
Or Katja, do you have something?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, what made you decide to help out with Elm Camp?
You did? Can I tell you? Can I say it like this, or is it a public information? No, okay. I have jumped the Elm bandwagon in 2016, and it was kind of because of Teresa Sokol, Evan's wife. We met at the React conference in Paris, and she had a quick lightning talk about Elm there, and it was just after code retreat that I have attended like 2 months ago, before this React conference. And at each code retreat I attended, I kind of set myself a goal, and the goal for that time was to learn myself a functional programming language. And given I was heavily in the front end, then like Elm being presented to me by Teresa back then, it felt like, okay, match made in heaven, let's try it out. So I tried Elm back then, fell in love with it kind of instantly, and then I tried to spread the word about the Elm in general. So I created a workshop for Elm in Czech Republic, where I'm based, and I went to some like Google Meetup groups around the place and trying to like slowly spread the word. And because of that, I have been hired as an Elm developer for another company by one headhunter. And then from 2017, I'm writing Elm professionally all the time. And I love it. It's the best thing that has happened to me so far. And I'm just trying to get more people to love it as well as I do. So I'm helping with everything that can help Elm, including Elm Camp.
And so where is it that you work now? Is it that place that you were hired on in 2017?
No, not anymore. Right now I'm working as a consultant for Scribe, which is a Swedish-based company. And Scribe is using Elm on like either the back office tools, but slowly it creeps into the front end, the general front end that the customers can use and try as well. So,
excellent. All right, yeah, that's great.
Do you open source your packages, your backend tool packages, or are they very specific for Scribe?
We have some open source packages in Elm. Definitely, there is. I think there is a Scribe personal number, and also we needed some form library for ourselves, but with the specific needs. So we forked Elm Form, I believe, is the one. I'm not sure right now, but we are trying to open source packages as well. And given Scribe backend is not heavily, but probably mostly written in Haskell, there are also some Haskell packages open source by Scribe as well.
Cool. Wow. So you use Elm on the front end, Haskell on the back end.
Dream.
It is that's the dream.
Yeah, I mean there is Elm team and there is front end team in Scribe, and most of the front end is React, but we kind of have our foot in the front end with micro front ends, and so some portions of the whole pages are written in Elm currently.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, a little bit of the customer facing is Elm as well. Okay.
Yep.
Mostly back office. Cool. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you and welcome. And we're excited. I think I'm excited anyway to talk a bit about Elm Camp this year. And to start out, maybe Katja, would you just say when it's going to be?
That would be good if I knew. I think.
Well, if you have to look it up, that's fine.
You
we'll
don't
just-
have the Elm.camp webpage in front of you. Come on.
Hang on.
Well, that's good information. Elm.camp, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Untitled this year is taking place in the Czech Republic. And the name of the town, I'm going to get Tomáš to pronounce.
Olomouc.
Olomouc. And it will be from Monday the 15th to Thursday the 18th of June. So people will arrive Monday afternoon and people will leave Thursday morning. So we have 2 full days of conference, as with the last couple of years.
Excellent.
Or
Yeah,
they
so-
can stay for a little while and explore a really nice town of Olomouc.
Yeah, so why would you be so interested in Olomouc? I mean, did you have any information about it?
Well, coincidentally, it's the town where I have been born, and it's a town where really I live in a town close by, so it's really easy for me to check the venue, and I know the place quite well.
And so what's
Yes.
And that's
special?
pure coincidence. Pure coincidence.
Yeah. As far as the location, obviously it's special to you personally, right? Is the place where you grew up. For folks in the Elm community who might want to attend, what would be special about it, particular for that?
Well, when we were thinking about where we can have the next Elm Camp, and we kind of thought about it'll be nice to have it in Europe and in Central Europe, in a place which is quite nicely reachable, and it'll be in the middle of everything. The Czech Republic is in the middle of Europe, and originally we thought about tied it to Lambda Days conference, which is in Krakow, and Olomouc is on the you can get from Olomouc to Krakow via train in few hours. It's really close by, and there is a train connection. Well, it's a kind of like a railway junction, so you can get to Olomouc from Prague pretty easily, from Vienna, or from Krakow, or from Poland, so from 3 or 4 sites. So it felt natural to choose this location, which is really nicely reachable from major airports or for attendees of Lambda Days.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and is there anything special in the town that we should definitely check out when we're there?
Oh yes. So, but for the facts, please double check Wikipedia, because I did this today, just to be sure. Olomouc as a city has been like, there is a legend that it was founded by Julius Caesar because there were Roman troops on the hill in the Olomouc in the Olomouc region, and that's why it is called Olomouc, because it was called Ulimontium, so Olomoucium in whatever, and it has been butchered to Olomouc. But that's just a legend. But there are proofs for like this place being inhabited from, I don't know, year 700 or something like that. So it's pretty old, and it has been place for the church governors, and also there is a really nice castle and a really nice cathedral as well in Olomouc, and the whole place around it's really nice and beautiful. So for anyone who likes history, you can see really nice historical city in there.
Yeah, and I know in the past Elm camps, people have kind of self-organized in the spirit of the Unconference to go and do tours of the local city. There's a very active Discord which ramps up activity right around Elm Camp that you should definitely join in. We can put it in the show notes as well, an invite to that. And yeah, people organize to go around, and I'm sure that Tomáš also, I'm going to volunteer you to make make a little tour
Publicly.
for people who do want to like hang around. And there's always people hanging around a couple days before and a couple days after the camp.
Yeah, I would definitely love to. And even Olomouc is like the 5th biggest city in Czech Republic with roughly around 100,000 people. There is plenty of opportunities or plenty of things to do, not only in the inside the Olomouc, but in the vicinity of it as well. So, yeah.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, when you described how it's sort of surrounded by all of these major places, right? Folks can come from. I think that really centers it. And then knowing, the little bit of the history and understanding, it's a beautiful place. And so, yeah, visiting castles, I enjoy doing that. So, yeah, that's exciting.
We hope one day to have Elm Camp in a castle again. We did in the first year, we did have it in a castle in Denmark, but the word they use for castle is really manor house. So it's kind of like it was a castle.
If you would like a medieval castle, Czech Republic has quite loads of them, and in my previous company we were staying at one of them as a team building activity. So
great.
It's doable, although traveling there it's a little bit offsite, so you would need to accompany for travels and stuff, but it's doable.
Sure. Okay.
I guess that's a problem. Castles aren't often easily reachable, like by design, right?
Yeah, good point.
No, moats, crocodiles. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so that's the area. We've talked about that. What about the venue itself? Where will folks be at specifically in Olomouc?
So it is a small hotel on the suburbs of Olomouc. So it'll be not directly in the center of Olomouc. So we will have some quiet place only for us. But we were able to reserve the whole place just for the Elm Camp for those dates. It's a really nice place for weddings, and it's being used as such. So there are like there are quite nice how do you say it, outside places. there is a pond nearby. There is also a sauna. There is a place for camping, actually, even though it's not used as a place for camping, but for us
we do.
We do. We started it. Yeah.
This is one of the criteria for Elm Camp. We will always hold it in a venue where you can pitch a tent or park a van, because that part of that is that we want it to be as accessible as possible, like affordable to people. And so if you can bring your own accommodation, then it's much cheaper, and those people don't lose out at all. They get all the food, they get all the all the meetings, and they can even use the toilets and the showers that we use as well. But it's been really important to us as organizers to kind of ground Elm Camp in that sense, and like to give people the spaces that they feel comfortable in. And so we will always try and have it in a place where you can pitch a tent, and also where you have access. Like, we have managed it every time to have like a lake or a pond or something where people can have access to that. And then nice walks out in nature. We definitely like to hold some of the sessions in the outside, and in fact, like, I would say the majority of sessions in Elm Camp do end up being without screens. So, like, that's a kind of by design and by encouragement to, like, hey, let's talk, let's draw pictures, let's look at what's around us, and not automatically open our computers and show each other stuff. So that happens more in the evenings, I think.
Yeah.
And you can see the place where Elm Camp is going to happen on the elm.camp website. There's a link for that.
Okay. Yeah, we can check it out. And so there's natural attractions, there's places to wander around, and
there is a fort nearby.
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah.
I didn't know that. Been keeping a secret.
Within walking distance?
Within walking distance, like 2 kilometers away, roughly, something like that. Because Olomouc historically has been quite heavily fortified during the Maria Theresia times, like 1800, 1900, something like that. And there are forts around the city, quite abandoned one, but there are events happening inside those forts. So I were at some concerts there. One of the Czech famous photographers took like the photos there as well for the group of people. It was like there are theaters, and it's like it's still alive a little bit.
Great. It's gonna have some Elm talks inside it, I think.
I was not able yet to get to the managers of the fort that is nearby of ours, so it might be just that we will be able to get in front of it and then go back. I will just need to double check.
We can hide around the side.
It's a fort. Come on. It should be hard.
We might not
to
get
into
in.
it.
Fine.
No, but that's on the one side, and there is also some farm with lots of horses nearby. So it's a really nice place.
Nice. Yeah, there were horses at the 2025 Elm Camp, which was nice. So.
Yeah, and we had llamas the year before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no
Even
llamas
connection.
this year. Sorry.
Horses are great. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. All right. So we know the place. What's the name of this place? This.
It's called Hotel Prachárna.
Okay.
And it's yes. Okay.
Yes. Exactly. That's what I was
Great.
thinking.
That's as he said. Yeah. No, but it's most of my
Does it
childhood,
translate?
Yes. There are like two possible translations. The informal one is the place with a lot of money for rich people.
Oh,
Because,
no.
yeah, and that's what I thought. That's why
you haven't told me that.
No. That's what I thought for most of my youth. That this is okay. That's like fancy rich people, kind of like whatever. But actually, given that fort is nearby, prach, which translates to dust, is also gunpowder. So it was a place where the gunpowder has been stored.
Oh. I don't know which is better.
You decide.
And there is a link to the location
Yes.
from the Elm Camp website as well.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to look at that. All right, so we've talked a little bit about the when and the where of it, and so I know in the past we've went a bit into the structure of the Unconference, and so I don't think we necessarily have to describe the entire structure of an Unconference. We can if you want, I don't care, but we can also refer back to the episodes I mentioned with Katja, as well as Elm Town 85 Wander about Elm Camp 2025. Or, you know, if we want to just talk maybe about what might be different this year versus previous years, it's up to y'all.
Yeah, so I'll start by doing like a very brief description in case people don't have time to listen to the other ones, and we want people to like come along to Elm Camp who've not been before, and so just like a very easy short description is that it's a very informal conference. So and it is designed by the participants. So like all the attendees will arrive on the Monday afternoon, and we'll get settled into our rooms and then come back down and have supper together. And at some point, either before or after supper, depending on how it's all working out, we'll have a meeting with everybody who's attending the conference to initially talk about ideas for things that they want to talk about in sessions. And then we'll make a like temporary plan for the Tuesday day, so that people can go to bed knowing what to expect the next day. And when we get up on Tuesday morning, we'll all have breakfast together, or, you know, drop in as early or late as you want to during breakfast. And then immediately following breakfast, we'll set a plan for the day, and answer any questions and things like that. And then we'll just go, and people can opt in and out of whichever sessions they want to go for. I think one of the very, very important things about it, and that we're also encouraging more this year, is to talk about things that aren't just Elm. And we're very much not about like demonstrating our Elm tools and things to each other, but more about like talking about ideas that we're having, and like experiences we've had. And you can listen to the other Elm Camp episodes, but we do have like sessions as diverse as like book clubs and what's the next step we need to take to save the world and things like that. So so we very much want people to come along who are just Elm adjacent and interested in functional programming. But beyond that, like, yeah, it's very open to other conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And from my experience going to Elm Camp 2025, it was really nice being someone who just arrives and then suddenly has the ability to have input into the structure of the conference. And it not having been to an unconference before, I thought it might be a bit chaotic, but it wasn't chaotic. It was it was nice. Well, at least it didn't seem it didn't seem too chaotic to me. I mean, I guess there's certainly uncertainty.
Yeah, so I would say like the one of the reasons why it's not chaotic is because we do have like a fixed timetable. So sometimes sessions might run into 2 slots or something, but we have a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner that are on fixed times, and in between that we have a number of sessions that are also on fixed times. And sometimes we mandate that everyone has to go outside for the afternoon, for example, things like that. So there is structure around it, but the actual content, like filling the slots, is totally down to the people who are there. And the one other thing that I'll mention that kind of makes it different to other conferences, at least other conferences that I attend that aren't work away days, is that we're all together. We all stay in the same place together. There is an option if you want to stay off site. You know, some people do that. There's always a small proportion, but those people who do that do tend to come like first thing in the morning. They're also welcome at breakfast and dinner, and they do stay through to like the evening activities. So they're literally just like sleeping in somewhere else. But for the most part, it's a community activity, right? So, and we're all together, and we're all I don't know what the right word to say, but we're all kind of equals, like there's no like, there's no celebrities, there's no, you know, there's no distinction between like the speakers and the attendees and things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's not like a speakers go off into their
there is no
unique
stage
world, and
Yeah. Not even organizers. You'll probably notice if you've been following Elm Camp. Is this our fifth one or fourth one?
I think fourth one.
I think fourth.
Wait,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, fourth. It depends whether you include the Elm in the Woods kind of session that was being done by John, I believe, John Pavlik.
Oh. No, I
Something
don't know.
like that.
But anyway.
4 or 5. It depends on what events do you count as Elm Camp. Okay.
Anything can be no. Though what the point I was making is that even in terms of organizers, like every year we've grown year on year, like adding more organizers and more, because like everybody who wants to be involved can be involved to whatever extent they want to be involved, and like we don't even have like secret organizers meetings during the conference or anything like that. So yeah. We're just there to like help make it happen, or I guess take responsibility for making the space to make it happen. But yeah, we very much rely on everyone else to make the content and make it happen. Yeah.
Which is really nice, because it feels like from the general conferences, I would say the best times that I personally have were not the talks, but the hallway kind of conversations and tracks. And this Unconference style things, like it's only hallway conversations.
Yeah.
It feels like a non-stop hallway time for speaking about interesting stuff with people all around you, where you can meet the speakers as well and talk to them. Unconference all day. Love it.
Yeah, that's what I started doing with regular conferences, is just basically staying on the hallway track the whole time. You know, I do one or
Can
two.
be a good technique.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that it is befitting in that way if you find yourself in those scenarios and enjoy that. So yeah, we talked a little bit about Elm adjacent, or as you said before, Elm-curious folks, which I love that term there. So it did happen last year as well in Michigan, where someone who knew somebody who was into Elm, but they themselves didn't know much about Elm, and then they had come and they had been using a tool that was inspired by Elm, which I've talked about that on a previous episode, the bubble tea library. And so what was interesting to me that came out of that is not only did we get people who were not necessarily directly interested in Elm, but somewhat Elm-curious or Elm adjacent, but we also got people in the community who got to learn about the bubble tea tool. And then now, since then, I've seen people making more tuis, which is a bubble tea is a tui, in Elm that are, you know, similar to this. So it's sort of like inspired and going full circle there. So yeah, very cool. And so that would be exciting to see. Do you want to talk any more about, I know that there was a bit of a specific reason to include Elm-curious folks explicitly here.
Yeah, well, there are a couple, and I also have a kind of secret mission myself that Tomáš, I haven't really spoken to you about. No, it's not. Don't get too excited. But firstly, in terms of like inviting folks who aren't like just sold on Elm, that is because Lambda Days, which we mentioned earlier, which usually happens in Krakow at this time, this year is on a hiatus, so will not be happening. And I know there's a lot of folks who come to Lambda Days who will feel like they would like to get together with other functional programmers or other functional programming academics in Central Europe, perhaps. And we're hoping to maybe encourage some of them along, kind of like just advertise it less Elm-centric, although Elm is obviously the thing that got us all together in the first place. And the second one is that we've become aware of a new functional programming group, like a physical meetup that's trying to get off the ground in Vienna. And we've been reaching out to them as well. There's a couple of Elm folks in that group, and they're very interested in exploring the whole palette of functional languages that is like used in modern technologies now, and hearing from people from all of those communities. So we're reaching out to them, and like we might just go and have a chat with them in Vienna afterwards, and a couple of them are going to come along to Elm Camp, maybe people who already are into Elm, but like just trying to grow the functional programming community and like networks internationally is like, yeah, something that I want to do. And my secret plan, which is like somewhat related, is I'd like there to be like an explicit mission, like an explicit endeavor of Elm Camp to make sure that we're kind of carrying forward a community desire, a community want. So if at Elm Camp we can have a session, which I will propose, and if nobody comes, then I'll talk to myself, about like, what do we as a community, like, what do we think that we can give to the world, in a sense? Like, how do we think that we can grow or not grow how we want, and kind of get some like very explicit actions out the other side of that. And I would like Elm Camp to be like ground, like for that to happen, because as Jared pointed out, like there's always inspiration that comes out of Elm Camp and collaborations that happen because of Elm Camp, and there's always a massive amount of activity like in the weeks, like the first few weeks and months that follow Elm Camp, and there's a lot of productivity like at Elm Camp itself. There's a couple of members who people will probably know that will like build whole things overnight every night during Elm Camp. They get a and yeah, so I would kind of just like to be like a little bit more I can't think of the word, more intentional about that, and say that it's one of the aims of Elm Camp to kind of come together once a year as a community and decide some kind of collective goal that we have, and like how can we make that happen, like who can do what to help move that forward one step. Because I personally think that it's really important that people have as much choice as possible of what they use to build things, and also that the bar is as low as possible for people to be able to publish things on the internet, because it's such a integral part of like our society, that it feels like everyone should be able to participate, and like anything that we can do to make that easier feels great to me, or feels like a good step forward. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, I like the intentionality moving toward that. That's good. Okay, I'll join you in that session.
Right.
Awesome.
If I'm able to make it.
I know. Yeah, we could. That's a really good point as well. Like, I don't know if you're able to make it as a financial decision, but we really, really, really want people to come who maybe feel like they can't afford it for whatever reason, and we're making it like even easier this year to access our opportunity grants. So we have some very generous donations coming in from individuals and companies that are explicitly there to enable people to come who can't afford a ticket. We try and keep our ticket prices as low as possible so that we break even on providing all the food in the rooms. And we facilitate people's travel from the like transportation hubs to get to the actual venue as well. So like, yeah, if you think it's going to be difficult to get there for any reason, let us know and we will help you. And yeah, if you can't afford a ticket, then also just let us know and we will give you a free ticket.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So, and all that will be available on the Elm Camp website, right? If people want to reach out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really hard to like speak about this in specifics, because the agenda is going to be decided on the spot, and it's each year it's a little bit different. So it's whatever we will make it to be. in the end. It depends on the people who will attend and what they would bring in with them. And
That is great.
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's great. And maybe that's a place to end it, right? Is saying that if you want to be included in the way discussions go, then come to Elm Camp.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I would maybe add that even if you think you don't have anything to chip in or add to the conference yourself, feel free to. But you are interested in general to attending. Don't hesitate and just join us, and you will see for yourself. Because mostly it's like the first day, some known people are presenting because they are like used to this format a lot already. But on the second day, the people who's like, yeah, I haven't had anything prepared, and yeah, but I can talk about this. So who has an idea for a session? Well, maybe I can. Yeah, you. Come on, no problem. Who would like to see? Who would like to hear about the stuff that you would like to propose? See, a lot of people. Find a place. Go talk.
Yeah, and I would say also that a session is not necessarily somebody presenting something, but actually a session can be proposed that, like, I have a question, or I get
I would like
confused
to
every
know
time
your opinion on stuff. Or
Or could somebody run a like tutorial session for me on how to get set up with my Vim editor or whatever, and then you'll have people in the room who think, yeah, that's really exciting. I love to share my Vim configs with everyone. So like, let's make a group. Let's go and do it. And it can be a group of 2 or 3 people, or it can be a group of 25 people or 50 people or whatever.
Yeah. And that's a great point about if you don't feel like you have anything to add, because there were certainly ones that I went to where I didn't feel like I had anything to say, but because of the format, because it's this, everybody's in a circle and it's not someone up on a stage, I would think of things along the way and then share them and like, oh, okay, well, I got that, in there. And if it's helpful, great. But although I went in not thinking I had something, there was something that, that was there that was able to definitely learn a lot throughout. So, and that's actually how I came to Elm in the first place, is going to Elm Conf back in 2017, I think, and not knowing Elm when I went in. Like I knew about Elm. I knew I liked the concept of Elm, but not knowing how to program Elm. And then meeting the people and like seeing the talks and just hearing the ideas that people had, and just, how kind people were. And so it all just worked in such a way that I was like, it clicked, and I was like, yes, this is the place for me. So yeah, if you're on the edge, you should do it.
Even if you're not on the edge, come on over.
Come
on over.
This, you're going.
You must see it.
We would like to see you and hear all your ideas or questions.
Yeah, it's so like exactly what you said, Jared. If you went along to a session and you didn't think you had anything to contribute, and you ended up saying something, you talked yourself down a second ago, saying like, oh, whether it was helpful or whether it wasn't helpful. Well, it was, because you were part of the conversation. So whatever you said was helpful. It's always helpful to hear what other people are thinking, regardless of whether it hits the mark you think it should be or what you were expecting. Like in some ways, it's even much more valuable to hear from people something that you totally weren't expecting was part of the conversation you were having. Like that's the whole beauty of it.
Also, one thing that I really liked, and we haven't mentioned it, is that what happens on Elm Camp stays at Elm Camp by default. So you are super. It's for people, or we try to create a super encouraging and like welcoming environment, even for the ideas that you wouldn't like to go public with, but you would like to get some opinion on, some feedback on, in a small group. So by default, what you hear on Elm Camp stays on Elm Camp, unless the author or like the group decides that it's okay for these things to go public. So that's another really nice way to validate your ideas or your like experiments, and get your first MVP out, that's the place to be.
Excellent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, should we move on to picks?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Go on.
Go.
All right. Well, Katja, you said you have one?
Yeah, so my pick is a YouTube video called Teaching Haskell to Kids, which is, I think, about 20 minutes, very lightweight experience of someone presenting. I don't remember which conference, but I'll put the link in the show notes. Someone presenting his experience of taking a group of 11, 12-year-olds who are not programmers and using Haskell to make Hangman. And it's a very light watch, very interesting, has a lot of insights into what it's like to do programming for the first time, and the difference between like functional programming and object-oriented programming or imperative, but it's very surface, really nice watch. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll have to check that out. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes. Tomáš, you said that there were a few before we started recording that you were wanting to share, and if you can't pick, just throw them out there.
I had really hard time to go with one or two picks, so I have 4 of them noted down. Something that I'm, one might say, obsessed for the past 2 weeks, let's say. Or maybe a month.
Long obsession.
Long obsession. Yeah. No, I have. Okay, let's start with a long obsession. So my first pick would be, if you haven't been to Code Retreat, find the nearest one this year and go. Because for me, it was a life-changing event, which put me on the Elm path in the first place. But before I'm joking a little bit, but not much. Each time I attended the Code Retreat, I changed the job for better. Because it showed me that there are ways how I can code. There are other ways that I can think about how I can think about code, and it was a really nice platform for me to try things out. In the similar way as Elm Camp is there for ideas, Code Retreat is there for code. So, and it's, yeah, just go and try it out. Each year there is a global day of Code Retreat, roughly in November, when the Code Retreats are happening all around the world at the same day. So go and check it out. Thank me later.
Is that a brand, like one organization that runs them, or are you just saying any generic?
It's a self-organized event. There is an organization with the ideas, which provides you with the ideas on the code katas that you can try, or some other. Well,
cool.
In short, Code Retreat is a one-day event where you write one program all over again, which is a game of life. You have 45 minutes for that. Each time you have a different, each time is it in as a pair program, pair programming. So each time you get a different peer, you can try different language, you can try different approach to the same problem all over again. And each time you have a different constraint, which will push you out of your comfort zone a little bit. So one constraint might be, for this session, don't use mouse at all. How well do you know your IDE shortcuts? For
nice.
This session,
I have done this. I didn't know that was the name. Yeah.
For this session, you can communicate with your partner only through code, so it will be mute session. You can't communicate otherwise. And it's mostly focused on teaching people how to write unit tests and testing in general. So, again, great event. Each and every developer should have attended this at least once in their career.
That's great.
So,
yeah, I had not even heard of that. So it sounds.
Now you do.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
I can talk days about that. So it's something that's really close to my heart, and I also help to host a few of those events as well, and share the general knowledge about it. So yeah,
cool.
it's awesome. Yeah, and from the other ones, if you're a fan of podcasts, Darknet Diaries is something that you definitely have to hear. It's
You
the
told me about it a couple of years
oh
ago.
boy,
and
yeah,
I do
I'm
still.
blabbering. I'm blabbering about it
I do still
constantly.
listen.
Now, if you are not a paranoid, you will be. You will be going. No, it's a podcast show about darknet hacking, hackers, and penetration testings in general. So how people are actually going to the building. Awesome stuff all the way around. From how Xbox has been hacked, how Mount Gox has been hacked and put down. Awesome. Sneak peek, one of the stories that a penetration tester has been hired to do a job for a bank, to find out, like, to get to the bank and try whether he can get in, or he can get his hands on the computer, or like get the computer out of the bank, which he did, only to realize that it was the bank next door that he was having a contract with. So he hacked a real bank without anyone knowing.
Without being invited.
On accident.
Without being invited, yeah. So, oops, yikes. But no, it's a really great show, and it's really well produced. I love each and every episode of it.
I can second
Highly.
that, because the way you described it makes it sound like he should be like a security nerd to care. But actually, they're
No.
just very human. They're very human stories. They're not.
Yes,
it's not about
definitely.
It's not like.
You don't need to be hardcore hacker or a security expert. Even though after a few episodes you start to be like, okay, so my security is really quite on the low side, and I probably shouldn't store a password under my keyboard, like on the post-it and stuff, which you shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, it's there is a history, there is a current event as well. Highly recommended podcast from what I can say. And for the third pick from the recent days is I'm starting to explore a little bit of a small web, which I found out through Kagi. Kagi.com is a search engine that is being that you have to pay for to use, but they have really nice initiatives. And one of it is kagi.com/smallweb, where they kind of handcraft you the blog posts that are crafted by individuals to express themselves and to share knowledge without seeking any financial gain. So there are no ads. There is no, like, back in the. It's a time traveling back to days where the blogs were the driving force of the internet, and it's a nice curated set of blogs and blog posts that you can get to randomly. So I replaced my doom scrolling with this, and I already get quite a loads of ideas for projects that I will never finish, or ideas in general. I really do enjoy that. So check it out. There is also the article about what a small web is, called "The Small Web is Beautiful" by Ben Hoyt. Highly recommended reading.
Yeah, that's a great one.
This sounds great.
I use Kagi. I pay for Kagi. I've
Yeah.
been using it for a couple of years now since I first heard of it, and through that found
love
the
it too.
small web, and
So
yeah,
you know.
it's I know, and I love it. It actually made me sort of reinvigorated to try and write on my blog, which, I mean, still it's a try, because I can't say I did write about Elm Camp.
I was
last
going to
year,
say, I
so,
know
yeah.
one post you did. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice. Yeah.
like, I think
And-
what you were saying about, it doesn't have to be perfect early on here, that but I think it was before we started recording, you were talking
That's
about that. I
actually
said
the
we should
idea
have had that in
from
the
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can definitely sum it up as well, because it was one blog post was about this that in, like, today's on the web, everything is trying to be perfect. In Instagram, you get like the perfect pictures of everyone. In social networks, you get the perfect picture of everyone. Everyone's trying to present their best, which is totally okay with it. But then AI came in, and suddenly like everyone is trying to create perfect thumbnails for everything, or make a joke visual somehow, but you can see that it's being generated by AI because it looks too good, or it's too perfect. And one of the blog posts, and sadly I can't recall which one was it because I haven't saved it, put the idea in my head about like, it's nice to embrace the imperfections these days and be proud of imperfections, because that's what actually tells everyone else that this part has been done by human. Most of the time, if you look for some thumbnail picture or some, like if you like to really do some joke and stuff, you can either generate it with AI, which is easy and it looks like everything else generated with AI most of these days. It's like, yeah, please AI this in the cartoon style. Yeah, it looks like every cartoon style all the time. You can either do that, or you can draw a stick figure with crappy text on top of it and just like scan it and put it out instead. And the latter one tells everyone, yeah, it's imperfect, but it's mine. And I embrace these imperfections, and I'm embrace that I'm not going to aim for the perfect things, because the imperfections is what makes us human. And I love the idea. So I'm trying to like think about more things while trying to feed less the AI slop and try to actually express myself, even though I know it's not perfect. And trust me, I was the first one who would try to do everything perfectly most of my life. So it's a really nice freedom you have. You can express yourself. And again, like with the small web, in the end, it's all the same. It can be even like one sentence blog post. No one cares. It doesn't need to be perfect.
People care. People appreciate it. It's not. It's not. Yeah. No one cares. It's people appreciate that connection.
You should not care about about things being perfect. You should be able to embrace that they might not be perfect, and that's okay.
And that's good.
And that's good. These days, even that's better.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was human made. Yeah. And recognizing that.
But in music, for example, like these imperfections is what makes you to go to the concert and hear this person to play live, because they don't hit the note perfectly.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. There's I've talked about this before on the podcast, but there's a particular passage in Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami that talks about this imperfection and of a particular piece, and I don't remember the piece offhand, but it talks about, just like that's what makes it so interesting, is like everybody's trying to figure it out, and it's never works out the way you think it would be if it could be perfect, because it was made by an imperfect being, and
exactly
they were human. And
I think we need to probably also just come away from even just using that concept, using that word, that there obviously is no such thing as perfection, right? So, and like Tomáš said, like a lot of programmers are people who come from that background of like all their life trying to attain perfection, logical, perfectly, and actually let's stop talking about it like that, because it's not, it's human. That's what we are. That's what we value with each other, is being human, not being perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a hard and long way ahead of us.
No, it's tomorrow. It's at Elm Camp on the 18th, 19th of June. After Elm Camp, the world is going to be like this.
Love it.
Yes.
Looking forward to that then. The last bit is I'm for the last 2 months I'm trying to use Jujutsu instead of Git as a version control system, and I love it.
Oh. Have not heard of it.
The best thing I love about it, and it reminds me of Elm a little bit with that, is that you can try to mess things up, but there is always JJ undo command that gets you to the previous state including all the files that are there that were there and you accidentally deleted, because everything is being committed by default. When you mess up your nice rebase tree with a lot of and you end up with a lot of conflicts, JJ undo, done, magic done. When you have the way how to undo things, or when you have the safe net of that, it's really easy and nice to explore things, which is the same with Elm. You have the safe net of types. You can go crazy with refactoring, knowing that you are still on the good path. So when you have a safety net, exploring is quite encouraging, and I love this the most probably about the Jujutsu. So yeah, and it's Git compatible, so you don't need. I'm using Jujutsu locally, but I push everything to GitHub. Everything seems like it's in Git, so
Yeah. To
there's
anyone
no
else,
excuse not to try.
Yeah, I've heard of it, and I haven't tried it yet. So yeah, I guess I should just try it and see how it goes. But I have heard that so that you could be using Jujutsu, but everyone else would still be using Git and have basically no knowledge of it or care for it.
Exactly. It flips your mind around a little bit, because you don't end up with commit, you start with commit. So you create a commit of things that you would like to do. Everything is automatically kind of committed recorded there. And if you would like to, if you are satisfied with how things are, you just create a new one. Like it's not called commit, it's called change there, but you create a new change on top of it. And if you find out that you messed up like 3 steps below, you can jump to the this commit before, like 3 commits ago, change something, and it'll be automatically rebased and propagated up to the newest one. Really nice, really nice. Love it.
Cool. Okay.
And I'm done with picks for today.
All right.
Great.
Well, then let me just summarize here for folks about Elm Camp. It'll be in Olomouc, Czechia, in Czech Republic, and it'll be June 15th through the 18th, 2026. And it's unconference format, and you should come. And even if you are only Elm-curious or you're a functional programmer and you enjoy the paradigm, please come. And Katja, you had something you wanted to...
Yeah, I was just going to remind people that a lot of people do actually bring their partners. Some people bring children, and we do have sessions of like where, you know, those people get involved, and they can get involved as much or as little as possible. But some people do see it like a little, away break that they can include their family in, or their friends. So yeah, so we like to encourage that as well.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Thank you, Katja. Okay. Yeah, so that is Elm Camp, and it'll be at the website elm.camp. You can find all that information and tickets. Well, I think we're trying to plan to have this out by the time or around the same time that tickets go on sale. So this is recorded at the end of January, and I think they're going on sale. When is it?
Mid-February, we hope. Like, it could be any day now. We're just waiting. It's all volunteer contributions, so we're waiting for everyone to have time to get that all put together, but should be any day now. So we'll let you know. But
yeah, so hopefully by the time you're hearing this, or at the time you're hearing this,
should be.
We'll have it. Yeah, we'll have the tickets up, and so yeah, great. And
we don't have endless capacity either. We have like quite small venues as well. So like I wouldn't leave it to the last minute to buy your ticket. If we do get overwhelming response, then we'll be flexible, flex out to another venue maybe. But yeah, I would say
more or less.
Delay.
If you listen to this episode, just go to the elm.camp site and you will see whether there are tickets or not, or whether and this is the universal statement for any day of the year of any year, probably, right? Next year it'll be the same. Hopefully.
Oh sure, yeah.
If you re-listen this, check the site again. You'll never know.
Yeah, there you go. I like
That's
it.
true. 2028, it'll still be there. Elm.camp. There may be tickets on sale. Yeah.
Mm.
It won't be in the Czech Republic, though, probably in 2028. But
It'll be in some other place.
Great. All right. Well, thanks to all the folks listening out there. Please rate and share if you're enjoying the show. Thanks to Teresa, I want to mention this from earlier, for introducing Tomáš to Elm. So thank you. And
yes,
thanks.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. No, thank you all, because I love. I came for the language. I stayed for the community.
Yeah. Well put.
And thanks, Jared, for keeping Elm Town going. It's really, really important, really inspiring, and really great that, the way you've held it. It's good.
Thank you. I'll see you at Elm Camp.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And I thank you all, the organizers of Elm Camp, for your time, and including those who weren't able to make it on this call. And I hope to be able to see you all at Elm Camp this year. See you, and thanks, Katja and Tomáš, for coming to Elm Town.
Yeah, thanks for
very
having
much.
us. See you again soon.